Hey there, everyone, because this is a general message, not a story, just a general message. What I feel and have been feeling is there's been a big buildup of energy before the full moon and now after this full moon here in May. And I would like to translate what I am feeling with this energy to anyone who needs it. With this energy, I don't know if there was a lot of people who faced a lot of being burnt out, as well as having restlessness. Those are some hard things to deal with together. On top of that, if you're already working on things within, you may have seen yourself come faced with little hurdles that draw conflict with the way you're trying to go within. This is all a part of this moon, this full moon in May. And what it is it's promoting you to get in what I would call your self garden and start to clean out different areas and begin to plant those seeds the direction that you want to go. It could be with personality traits, it could be with stability, it could be with emotional growth, it could be with wanting to feel a little less lost. I had a client earlier this week who was very curious, and they picked up on a little bit of what I did, but they didn't know exactly what I do outside of my main career. And one of the questions that this client asked was, how do I begin my journey? I do feel this disconnection, and they were in Aries, which was very interesting. And I spoke to them about how Aries is a cardinal sign. That sign brings in a new season for being able to plant new things to come. Aries is also known as awareness, becoming self-aware. And what I could relay as the messages that were being given to give to her was, you have to be ready to start unpacking. Unpacking things that we have packed away, that we haven't intended to. And what this translate is in our garden is different plots of self. These plots could be overgrown. They could have been neglected. It was something that was said, it's still going to grow, but we stopped tending it. And sometimes we have stopped tending it depending on how we grew up. For different generations, expressing emotions and emotion IQ wasn't that high. This is something that is more new age, talking about emotions, trying to understand emotions. And one thing I feel is that the human experience is one of learning how to come at one with emotions and be able to navigate within self. Because emotions are a part of the human experience. I feel like us as a species feels them on a totally different level compared to other species that we find on this earth. So with that being said, I always suggest in a lot of videos, and you'll hear again, is that going with a therapist, counselor, psychologist, and not everybody is going to be a perfect fit right away, but finding that right fit matters. As I told this client, because they're going to help you unpack some stuff that's going on. And what I could do is I could give her an example of a certain point in her body that is a core memory that is holding on to something. And I'll give this example that I gave to her right here now. I had another client on my table, and every time I went towards the hand, touched the hand would stiffen, tighten up, and it would try, in a sense, to want to get away. But in my line of business, it's a part of the body, it's where we work. And we do talk with clients beforehand if there's any areas that are no-go, sensitive, or areas that we have to draw caution to. But as I work with each individual, I have to pay attention to certain areas of the body and how to work with it. And this is what I'm going to explain here, because certain energies get trapped in the body. And for this client that I'm using an example, what was trapped in the energy of the hand that I was working on, it was a sense of negative energy that hadn't been worked out. And the imagery that I got with this hand was that as a child, this person would have their hands squeezed really tight when they were doing something wrong. And that never worked itself out. And that type of energy that I felt at the core of this memory that was stored in this hand, they still felt like they were a bad child. They never got to soothe that energy. They never got to work it out. They never came to terms with even how whoever squeezed that hand may have not known better, may have not understood the emotions that were going on or the stress that was going on within that child. Again, because children, for some generations, were to be seen, not heard. That is a harsh reality, whereas now children are being overly heard in some sense. It's good in a lot of ways, but there's still, I feel like, a big imbalance that's happening. But let's get back to the energy that gets stored. So as I'm explaining to this Aries of a client, this example that I have, this Aries of a client asked, well, how would that person deal with it? And I told him this person would need probably somebody to help unpack that core memory and to work out the emotions that are around it, and coming to terms that this person is not that bad child anymore. Come to terms with the guardian may have been misled in disciplining, because we are always evolving in our behavior as a human species. What was okay 50 years ago is not okay today. But it's unpacking that core memory. And it's being able to look at the emotional ties. And it's being able to overcome and build yourself up. I do the hand one, because it's a generally easier example. There are more traumatic memories that get stored in the body. Again, it's having somebody that we can trust. And I like to explain this to people. When you go and you see a professional, whichever tier you pick, even if it's a mentor that you can trust, generally they're people who will just listen. And if you have to have 5, 6, 7, 10 meetings of just unpacking and unloading and unpacking and unloading, they're going to be there. And the great thing is you only have somebody who's only knows what you're telling them. They don't have your Aunt Susie, your cousin Terry, your sister Patricia, your third cousin Nancy, all the opinion up in their ear too. No, because it's just about you. It's about how you feel. It's about getting you to a place where you're comfortable with yourself, and that these core memories that we're holding on to are worked through, and we can become at one. And a lot of times, and I gave this little bit because I've been through a lot of therapy myself, is learning how to tend to that wounded child, because that example with the hand was a wounded child right there. Learning how to tend to that child learning how to be okay with opening up to our wounded child. That is a big step, because that is a big part of our core. All right. So I'm feeling like we need to draw it back now, because that was a big intro. And let's go with the cards for this general message. I have 1, 2, 3 oracle cards. The last one is the Universe Oracle, which is going to tie it back to the biggest message of all, love. Only one tarot. My favorite, Dreams Within Dreams. I love the artwork. So let's get started. So I have the Talisman Oracle. And what I'm hearing is 3 cards for this one. 3 cards for this one. What would like to come out? 1, 2, 1 more. All right, we'll do it. 1 more. There it is, 3. Okay, so what I'm hearing is I need to read these from a reverse. Usually you don't read oracles from reverse. Sometimes I do. But what I get is, first one is destiny. Okay. There we go. Boom. Next one in reverse is courage. Okay. And we're going to put these up in upright, because what's being said here, collective, have the courage to step in to your destiny. What you're feeling now is a part of the growing process. You're getting ready to molt. That's what's getting ready to happen. You're learning so much. You're acknowledging so much. But what is happening is somehow there's a transition being held up. So imagine being a type of animal that has a exoskeleton that they shed. Now imagine being too big for that. Okay? And the fact is your body is too big. You've learned too much. It's time to shed. And it's time to step into your new form. Now, what we don't see, it's a union. That's what this new form is. It's a union. Now, is it a union with a person, place, or thing? I really look at how union is in the middle of destiny, and it's in the middle of courage. So what you have is both of these looking onto union. And then you have union dead square, still looking onto each other. I'm going to bring this back to self. It's always a plus to be able to have a union with somebody else, but it's always even better to have a union with self, because when you have a union with self, you're leveling up so that your future unions that are coming in are even going to be on a higher level. No more putting up with the same shit. Excuse my language, but I was told to put it out like that. So we have those 3 cards out. Let's go ahead and go into the tarot. This is why it's important to clean out stuff, to get to those plots, to get to different areas in your home, to make room for new things. And what I have is a King of Cups energy. So this is going to be more masculine, more stable, more of a developed exploration, adventure, progress type of energy that's going to be brought in. And then I'm going to focus on the dragon. I've been seeing a lot of dragon lately. And to me, I would go back into the tale where dragons are sacred creatures. So this is going to be some sacred energy that is going to be brought up brought in. And this lands on the King of Coins in reverse. This is going to be brought in on the instability that a person's been feeling like they've been having with that type of energy. So instead of exploration, there would have been staleness. Let's see. And then what we have that we don't see, Nine of Cups and upright, that lands on the King of Coins in reverse, and the Three of Coins. So what I'm hearing is lead with the positiveness in that emotional side. What I'm focusing is on the shadow side right now. And in that shadow side, you can find a lot of unstable emotions. And it's time to clean that out. Clean it out and make room for new contracts to come in. We have the Nine of Cups. We're going to start filling our own cups. Filling our own cups, because guess what? We're going to get to a level where people are on that same level and they get you. They get me, they get you, and we get them. There's no more having to dull yourself down to try and fit in at a level that's just not working. Again, if you're in this body and you need to shed this skin because you've grown so much, trying to hang on to stay around to everyone else because, you know, they're all this big, but you're getting ready to go even bigger, it ain't working. It ain't working. Don't dull your shine. All right, let's see what else wants to come out. I have a Five of Wands. Ooh, this is interesting. Comes out in reverse all the way over here. What I hear is burning out the old. Burning out the old. What I feel like this is the part of that inner home structure where whoever it was, whatever it was, it doesn't have to deal with the person. It has to deal with vulnerability. And then certain personality traits, the way that they are, capitalize on it. And what I have too is a full moon here. If y'all didn't notice. A lot of times, I believe the Five of Wands and other decks bring up conflict. But this is a single one in here. So what I would say is getting rid of that vulnerability, or coming to terms with where that vulnerability comes from, because it lands like way off to the side here. Destiny is totally not even, like, this isn't a part of my destiny. Having this vulnerability that people can capitalize on is not going to get me to my destiny. So I want to know what it is about this Five of Wands. I need a clarity card. Can I get a clarity card for the Five of Wands? All right. And as you see, something we don't see, it's the universe in reverse. Yeah. Residing in whatever vulnerability that was being manipulated is out the door. It's time to let it go, let it burn out, let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Because we're going to learn that this vulnerability comes from the instability that we've been feeling. Again, it could be with a person, place, or thing. But we're going to rise up in that shadow side. We're going to start filling our cups. And it's going to be positive things. Exploration, adventure, progress, development. And progress is a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing to use, because you don't need a big amount of progress. It could be switching an apple for a snack instead of chips. Going on a 10-minute walk instead of just sitting down. It may have not been the 20-minute walk. It may not have been a 15-minute walk. But guess what? You still did a 10-minute walk. And being happy on doing it. If you're making decisions behind closed doors that are still gearing you in that direction that other people aren't seeing, that's progress right there. All right. Anything else want to come out? One more wants to come out for this one. All right. And I'm hearing universe. Can I get a clarity card for the universe card? All right. Let's see. Ancestors are bringing this out. So I have a Queen of Wands. And upright. And I have the Nine of Swords. Knight of Swords. Excuse me. Knight of Swords. So it's taking the passions and going into a new direction. And what did you see here? An animal that sheds their skin. Before, snakes were really kind of looked at as evil. They're actually looked at as immortal. Another sign that is represented by snakes is the Scorpio. Scorpio is represented by snakes, again, because there's that shedding. There's that transformation. And snakes are also looked at as to be creatures of wisdom. So what is needed for your universe? Needed for burning out this vulnerability that others would capitalize on is bringing in your passion. What it is that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about something and somebody else isn't, man, forget what they say. To be honest, if you're passionate about caring and that person's passionate about being an asshole, forget what they say. And it's having that confidence and leading in that direction. Not just to the core, but also with the mind. With the mind. And heading off. Not with a slick tongue. Not with a sharp tongue. We don't have to do that. We don't have to cut people down to get out of our way. No, because that's still affecting us. That means you're still cutting yourself down inside. And look at, do y'all see that? Yep, hummingbird right there. It's leading in the direction of your passion. Leading with the love. Leading with, is it forgiveness? Because forgiveness is a big thing. Let's face it, some of the situations that we get stuck in and some of the situations that we harbor on and hang on to that hold us up from our destiny are situations that never came about in the way that we either wished or that we expected it to. And it could be downright unfair. But in that unfairness sense, we're not looking at how that situation forced us to step up, forced us to have strength when we didn't have any other choice. And it's coming to a union with that. Forgiving them for making us step up. Forgiving them for, us having to build up our resilience when ideally we want it to go a little different. And it's bringing it again into the thoughts and bringing it to the core. Now I'm hearing, let's go a few more cards. And I'm hearing shuffle, 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 shuffle. All right. All right. What else would like to come out? All right. And now this all lands on destiny. What I have is a 2 of Wands. Let's see. There we go. And then I have the Wheel of Faith. I feel like this ties into what we just talked about, or what I just expressed, because we have more than one energy here. And right now, whoever's listening to this, the expression is that how you feel about these other energies in your life and how they affected your wheel. It's time to forgive, and what I hear is let go. Because the more that you keep going back, the more it leaves you blind. Really blind to how blind these other situations really are. They're not at your level. They were never at your level. That's why you had to keep going on your path. But the fact that you hold on to these strands, to these past memories that upset you, is what keeps you from cutting that cord. Don't let the blind lead the blind, because you're not blind. Look at them. They don't have a choice. They don't want to level up, but you have the choice. You can take off the blindfold. You can make that cut of the tie and say no more. Now let's say you have somebody you have to deal with. Could be a coworker. This could be an in-law. This could be some type of person, place, or thing that it's not just a simple I can cut them off and move forward, because we do have different variables in life. What I'm hearing directly to say to those individuals is those people are at a different level. You don't feel like you fit in is because they're at a different level. When you can recognize yourself and where you're at and how there's a difference, not only in perception of things, but how you operate in this world versus how they operate in this world, you're going to come to terms, or you're going to start seeing where you're actually at. What I read in a book, and it was very interesting, and I feel like a lot of people who are gravitating to the videos that I do are within this level of evolvement. People who want to go for social status and social type of things are not looking to evolve. Now, people who are looking for enlightenment, getting themselves better mentally, physically, emotionally, are ones who are of evolvement. Not sure how to say it, but I hope y'all get what I'm talking about. When I read this, my jaw dropped, because I've never been a person who's fit in socially. I could read the room, I could read a person. I actually, would avoid meeting certain people because I could see what their interactions would bring me. And I actually had one individual, I wouldn't meet them because when they would present themselves, all I could see was myself crying a lot of sad emotions around that energy if I went and interacted with that energy. And see, when you're a person who is sensitive, who is tuning into the cues that are felt energetically, or that are even observed in human behavior and how people communicate, you start to see a lot of things that just don't go with you. And that's okay. You're more observant. You're more invested in what's going on. Not everybody is that invested. And I'm just here to confirm that for you. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of questions that are happening right now. And this is why this is a general message for everybody. All right, so let's get back to the tarot. I'm hearing one card. One card is left in this. One card. What will that card be? All right, it's ready to go. I'm feeling like there it is. So I have the 5 of coins. Oh, this is so awesome. This all lands on union and the King of Cups. 5 of coins and upright. And it's looking at the courage. I have the 5 of cups. That's looking at the King of Cups. And then I have the Chariot in reverse. It's going to take a lot of courage to bring yourself in from the cold. And what you're going to find is there's some kind of holdup that's going to happen. That holdup can come at a time that this person needs recharging. Because what I see is cups are dumped out, but there's 1 cup left. I'm tired of feeling all this way. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I can't deal with this anymore, and I'm not going to deal with that anymore. Here's what I am going to do. Here is how I want to feel. And what I have is this Chariot. And I believe the Chariot represents Cancer energy. What I feel like, because I have another full moon here too. Cancerians can hold on to things and hold on to it and hold on to it. And it can be very hard for them to let go. In order to come out of the cold with something, it's going to have to let go of something else. And you're going to need the courage to do it. This person is going to have to get stubborn. And it's going to be in a way that they are going to have to believe in themselves. Again, this has to do with exploration, adventure, progress, development, positive masculine tendencies, traits. So that's the direct right there. If anyone's looking for a direct, well, how do I do this? Well, to come out the cold with yourself, you need to figure out what it is. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel good about yourself? Do you want to be happy? Is that a goal you want? Then what are you willing to do? What are you willing to let go of that is going to sacrifice the pain and the suffering for love and compassion? All right. So, divine, universal, angels of protection, please help bring some direct messages forward for this general message. What I have is grounding. And it lands towards this, so let's see what the top card is. Grounding out those thoughts. Those thoughts. The thoughts that keep you up at night. The thoughts that a person reverts back to when they're trying to show themselves who they are. Yes, there are individuals out there whose thoughts revolve around all their mistakes, every which way that they came in wrong. What are they doing wrong? It's getting grounded out that those thoughts are not it. It's coming up from those thoughts and bringing yourself back down to the now, here, this moment. Not 5 years ago, not 6 years ago, not 10 years, 20, 30, 50, 2, 6 months, 2 days. No, now. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect. All right, let's see. Something that we don't really see here. Abundance. This is going to lead you to your abundance. Your destiny is going to have abundance. And when it comes to it, in that shadow side, you're going to find the tools to create stability. I'm being pushed to share this. I had a talk with somebody who was very dear to me. They were in ICU last week. And one thing I told them is that a lot of times people will put others higher up on a pedestal because they see this person having what they don't have. And a lot of times it comes up to here mentally. And what I told this individual is, when you break it down, nobody's balanced. Sorry to say it, nobody is. But what you have are individuals who have gained tools, who have gained experiences, who have gained lessons throughout their life. So that when they run into situations, stressors, they have these tools that they can use to help deal with it. And again, if you're on this channel, this is you taking steps to gaining those tools to find that balance. So don't sit here and knock yourself down because you think everyone else is so well. No. A lot of people fake the funk. They really try and make it look one way. The harder they try, to me, is the more it's really opposite. People who are authentic are going to be raw. They're going to be truthful. They're not going to have to create, look at, there's a hummingbird right there again. They're not going to have to create this illusion that their life is perfect. So really keep in mind when you are assessing others and then when you're trying to compare yourself. There's apples and there's oranges. It's two different things. All right, so let's go on. I'm hearing one more card. No, I'm hearing three more cards. Okay, let's go. Three more cards. Three more cards. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides. I have two more, and they landed on this one. So, to get to your Nine of Cups, to get to those new contracts with your soul tribe, again, it's bringing in those positive masculine tendencies of exploration, adventure, progress, development, and it's starting them all on a new day. And your new day can happen right now. Even if there's 1 minute left in your day, you can still have a new day. It's not wasted. Any effort put towards yourself, put towards a goal, is never wasted. Keep that in mind, because that's going to help bring in that stability. That's going to help bring in your Nine of Cups of feeling really good about yourself, really good about what you're doing, really good in the direction that you're going. And then I have sacred space. And then with sacred space, it's recognizing that what is going on within is going to affect what goes on outside. When you start viewing yourself as feeling more protected, you're going to feel more protected in your environment. Once you start getting curiosity for things, then less starts to hold you back. I'll say with fear. Anticipation instead of nervousness. Well, how do you change up? Well, stop listing all the bad things and start listing all the good things that could come about. And then the third card that lands on that we don't see is, it's number one. It's movement into balance. The yin and the yang and the universal experiences that we have had. Being able to cleanse out and process. Moving forward. You're not the person that you were so many years ago. You are the person that you are now. What are you doing now? How do you want to lead your day? All right. And last up, because it all needs to be tied in to love, is the Universe Oracle. What is the final message? What is the final message? This is really neat because it lands on Destiny, the 10, which is the Wheel of Fate, and what is this? 2 of Wands. Very fitting. Obstacles or detours in the right direction. It's time to surpass these energies And know that you are the holder of your world. You can take your world and go towards your destiny. Cutting the ties to energies that are no longer on your level. No longer giving them the reactions that they seek from you. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgive them for not knowing. Forgive them for never gaining sight. Just forgive them. Have pity. Because not everybody can go to the top. You can't pull them to the top. You can't drag them to the top. You can't push them to the top. Release those expectations that these people are supposed to grow up. These people are supposed to show up. These situations are supposed to be so much more because they're grown. They're not you. They're not grasping it. And that's okay. Let them have their delusion of fun. All right? And it's time for you to take off that blindfold and realize it took these others acting a fool, being foolish, being stuck on their level to get you to see that this hurdle is, I can overcome it. This plateau, I can get past. And guess what? You're going to get a great view. You're going to get a great understanding of yourself, of where you want to go, of how important you are and how important what you're doing for yourself is. It is not selfish to want to love yourself. It is not selfish to want to level up and be able to see life from a different view. All right, so this is going to conclude it. Thank you, everyone, for this general message. Now, before I go, for all the individual signs, I am feeling a pull towards doing everybody in their elements, all the elements together. So when they come out, that's the way they're going to come out. Now, are we going to start with Aries again? I don't know. We could start with Cancer. We could end up starting with an air sign or even an earth sign. I don't know. But all I know, I was pushed to do this one. Now, what is the forecast for the individual signs coming out? I'm hoping here soon. It's just a lot of stuff that I have to smooth out, get going, and focus on before I can give my full focus to this as well. Because I want authentic stories coming out, I want authentic messages coming out, and I want to be in a great space where I can give 110%, not only to y'all, but to the guides, the ancestors, the angels, divine, and universe. That's how I honor all these energies, is by focusing in so much for everyone. Again, thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.